I'm a rapper. You can find my music on Spotify and all kinds of streaming platforms under Reginald, but I spell it R39INALD. I'm on Instagram, Reggiecoin, and I am on Twitter on as Kanye. Twitter.com or x.com/Kanye. That's me. What are we here for? We're here to talk about crypto. More specifically, I'm here to help you become rich with crypto. Um, my central thesis about becoming rich with crypto is that you got to really get in here and read these white papers. But I didn't want to just start telling you to read white papers and then just leave or just vanish. Hold on, let me close this door real quick. So I hope that helps with the noise. I live in Hong Kong, and there's a constant construction going on. So they're drilling, I think, on a building across the street from me or something. So I hope that's not too annoying. My central thesis is to become rich with crypto. You want to read white papers so that when the right crypto comes along, you can invest in it and have confidence that, oh, this is the right thing. I know this is going to be valuable in the future. I don't recommend people like day trade. That's like a full time job. I'm not telling people, hey, sell now and buy again later. Like, I've done all of those things. Any type of, way you could think, oh, I got to game the system. I'm going to, you know, buy a little bit, then trade this coin to another coin, then I'm going to buy that coin, then I'm going to trade that. I've done all of those things. And it rarely works, or at least it hasn't worked for me. So, what I try to recommend to people is methods that I find to be wise and helpful. So let's say that you found a crypto that you like, and now you're like, well, what do I do? How do I buy it? I want to buy a little bit of this crypto, then I want to sell it, then I want to, how do I buy something so that I can buy the most of this? What I recommend for that, I believe they call it a fixed price. I think it's a fixed price purchasing. So or fixed costs. But essentially, you want to say, I am going to buy, $10 a week of this crypto. If you can automate it on your site, perfect. Automate it. Get the, or, maybe $100 a month. Those are two things I recommend. Either $10 a week, a certain crypto, or $100 a month on a certain crypto. Preferably if you could automate it so you don't even have to think about it. That's perfect. But if you have to like manually do it, just do that. And why do I say this? Because trying to think about, today the price may be less than the next day, or you're like, oh, I'm going to wait for a crash. You don't want to get into that thinking about every day, like, what's the best time to buy? Once you have decided you like a specific crypto, and you want to invest in it, you want to just, make a regular purchase of it so that it can stack up over time. And the benefit of that is that if the price goes down, and let's say you're buying $10 a week, right? Price goes down, that $10 is now buying more of that crypto. And the price goes up, that $10 is buying less. However, the amount that you currently have, the value has gone up, right? So, yeah, those are sort of the quick recommendations I have for people. If you're new to crypto and trying to figure it out, yeah, please, I don't recommend getting into the day trading, trying to make those big gains. The way you make the big gains, in my opinion, is you find that crypto that nobody's invested in. You go to CoinMarketCap, you go outside of the top 500, you go outside of the top 1,000, and you find that with that crypto with a small market cap, so that you could purchase a bigger chunk of that. And but you want to make sure you believe in it, right? So that's why we read the white papers. So you read the white paper of this really low ranking crypto. You decide this is it. I'm going to get rich with this. This is going to be a really good thing. So you invest in that. And then when that crypto makes it from, being in the top 2,000, top 3,000 to now, that made it into the top 10. That's a huge gain. You you made a ton of money, and it all comes from you being able to read this white paper and see, have insight as to, oh, this would actually be helpful. This actually competes versus Bitcoin. This actually competes versus Ether. This is actually a private cryptocurrency. There's all different values that a crypto can have. So now that we've talked about that, today we're getting into Tether. So now before we talk about Tether, let me look at the chat real quick. I've been ignoring you guys, so let's see what you have to say. Hey, hi. Okay, having a good time. Okay, so now let's talk about Tether. I tell you guys you need to read white papers. So now I'm here to read the Tether white paper. Um, So, introduction, abstract, the digital token backed by fiat currency provides individuals and organizations with a robust and decentralized method of exchanging value while using a familiar accounting unit. I can just go through and just keep reading this and reading this, but maybe just go to the breakdown, right? Introduction. Tether is a stable coin designed to maintain a stable value relative to fiat currencies, primarily the US dollar. A digital currency which can facilitate transactions and provide liquidity in the cryptocurrency market. Tether is a blockchain-based cryptocurrency that is pegged to the value of traditional fiat currencies. Um, Tether aims to combine the benefits of cryptocurrencies, such as speed and security, with the stability of fiat currencies. Tether works. Um, let's see how Tether works. Here's the breakdown. Okay. Just going through the white paper. It's 20 pages. I'll kind of cover the introduction. Okay, let's talk about how they say their implementation has the following advantages over other fiat-pegged cryptocurrencies. Tethers exist on the Bitcoin blockchain rather than a less developed tested altcoin blockchain, nor within closed source software running on a centralized private databases. Tethers can be used just like Bitcoins. Um, Tethers can be integrated with merchant exchanges, just as wallets, just as easily as Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies can be integrated. Tethers inherit the properties of the OmniLayer protocol, which include a decentralized exchange, browser-based, open source, wallet encryption, Bitcoin-based transparency, accountability, multi-party security, and reporting functions. Tether Limited employs a simple but effective approach for conducting proof of reserves, which significantly reduces our counterparty risk as a custodian of the reserve assets. Blah, blah, blah. It's kind of boring. Tether's one-to-one backing implementation is easier for non-technical users to understand as opposed to collateralization techniques or derivative strategies. So, and then at the baseline, at any given time, the balance of fiat currency held in our reserves will be equal to or greater than the number of tethers in circulation. So that means they're saying at the baseline, if they have, 2 billion tethers out there, they're saying that their reserves they're going to hold, they have 2 billion. Now, is that true? Probably not. Can I prove that it's not true? Definitely not. But am I in the history of crypto and bankings? You never know. Things come crashing down until they come crashing down. So Please don't take me reading this as me necessarily endorsing everything that Tether says in this white paper. The main reason I'm reading this is because Tether is number three on CoinMarketCap, and I tell you guys, you got to read the white papers on from cryptos on CoinMarketCap, right? So, let's see. So benefits of Tether: reduced volatility, easy conversion to fiat, and faster transaction speeds compared to traditional banking methods. Yeah, so like in my case, um, most of the exchanges that I will use, or most of the exchanges you see out there, if you are going to put in US dollars, right, or you're going to put in some type of like local fiat currency, the how does that fiat currency then connect to the sort of crypto world, the sort of crypto space, crypto money? How does your money, if I give somebody $20 of cash and then they give me $20 of crypto, like how does that begin? And that's the thing that something such as Tether helps. I know there's like USDC, USD coin, and I'm sure maybe in different countries they have different things, and I'm sure there's ways for Tether or USDC to connect to different fiat. So, but essentially, you could give a company, $20, and then they can issue you, $20 worth of Tether or USDC. And when you get this $20 of Tether, now that's on the blockchain. That can easily be exchanged for $20 of Bitcoin or $20 of Ether or $20 of Shiba Inu coin or Inu, however you pronounce it. So that's to me when I think of Tether, and the benefit of Tether is that it's really helped sort of support the blockchain infrastructure, right? Let's see. That propaganda. Um, so they note that we recognize our implementation isn't perfectly decentralized since Tether Limited must act as a centralized custodian of reserve assets, albeit Tethers in circulation exist as a decentralized digital currency. However, we believe that this implementation sets the foundation for building future innovations that will eliminate these weaknesses, create a robust platform for new products and services, and support the growth and utility of the Bitcoin blockchain over the long run. Some of these innovations include mobile payment facilitation between users and other parties, including other users and merchants, instant or near instant fiat value transfer between decentralized parties, such as multiple exchanges. Introduction to the use of smart contracts and multi signature capabilities to further improve the general security process, proof of reserves, and enable new features. Technology stack and processes. Each tether issued into circulation will be backed in a 1-to-1 ratio with the equivalent amount of corresponding fiat currency held in reserves by Hong Kong based Tether Limited. Hey, I'm in Hong Kong. Tether Limited. Holla at me. I gotta look up Tether Limited. I'm in Hong Kong. I'm here too. As the custodian of the backing assets, we're acting as a trusted third party responsible for that asset. Tether Limited, if you're watching this, I apologize if I said you guys were cap or anything. This risk is mitigated by a simple implementation that collectively reduces the complexity of conducting both fiat and crypto audits while increasing the security, provability, and transparency of these audits. So then they go into the technology stack. Um, I don't need to describe this picture. Talk about something called Omnicore. Then there the lifestyles. Um, all kind of complicated. Okay, let's get into. Uh, Proof of reserves process. Proof of solvency, proof of reserves, real time transparency, and other similar phrases have been growing and resonating across the cryptocurrency industry. Exchange and wallet audits in a current form are very unreliable. Insolvency has occurred numerous times in the Bitcoin ecosystem, either via hacks, mismanagement, or outright fraud. Users must be diligent with their exchange selection and vigilant in their use of exchanges. Even then, a savvy user will not be able to fully eliminate the risks. Further, there are exchange users like traders and businesses who must keep non-trivial fiat balances in exchanges at all times. In financial language, this is known as the counterparty risk of storing value with a third party. Right. Like we used to say back in the day, what is like, I can't even remember the phrase, but essentially is that, if you don't personally hold your crypto, then you don't really have your crypto. If your crypto is on an exchange, the exchange has your crypto. What does this mean? If the exchange goes down, you lose your crypto. Or somebody hacks the exchange, that's probably not insured. Whereas, like, if you have a paper wallet, right, or like maybe like a digital wallet, like do they call them like ledger, something like that, you actually have a level of security over the crypto. Whereas if you leave it on the exchange, that's it. You're opening yourself up to all of the risks that the exchange has. In addition to, I guess, like you as an individual could be hacked or something. So it's just a lot of layers of, as opposed to like if you self hold it, it's far more secure, right? So that's what that was just talking about. Um, let's see. So Tether's proof of reserves configuration is novel because it simplifies the process of proving that the total number of tethers in circulation liabilities are always fully backed by an equal amount of fiat currency held in reserve. In our configuration, each tether USD in circulation represents $1 held in our reserves, which means that the system is fully reserved when the sum of all tethers in existence is exactly equal to the balance of USD held in our reserve. Which ought to say, I guess, one tether equals one USD, right? Um, so use cases, yeah, trading pairs on exchanges. That's kind of what I talked about earlier. Talked about the omelet layer protocol. Then they have the DUSD depot, TUSD, DUSD. This is going really into the weeds on how their math works, right? Let's talk more about the proof of reserves. Okay, this is interesting. So they have a section on page 10. It says implementation weaknesses. We understand that our implementation does immediately create a fully trustless cryptocurrency system, mainly because users must trust Tether Limited and our corresponding legacy banking institution to be the custodian of the reserve assets. However, almost all exchanges and wallets are subject to the same weaknesses. Users of these services are already subject to these risks. Here is a summary of the weaknesses in our approach. We could go bankrupt. Our bank could go insolvent. Our bank could freeze or confiscate the funds. We could abscond with the reserve funds. We centralize risk to a single point of failure. Observe that almost all digital currency exchanges and wallets already face many of these challenges. Therefore, users of these services are already subject to these risks. Below, we describe how each of these concerns are being addressed. We could go bankrupt. Let's see. So they say since all tethers exist on the Bitcoin blockchain, they could be stored by individuals directly through securing their own private keys. I've never heard of somebody having private keys for their tethers, but I guess they're saying that's possible. Their bank could go insolvent. Um, Tether Limited currently has accounts with Cathay United Bank and Huatai Bank in Taiwan, both of whom are aware and confident that Tether's business model is acceptable. Our bank can freeze and confiscate the funds. Our banks are aware that the nature of Bitcoin and are accepting of Bitcoin businesses. Yada yada. They have assured us we're in full compliance. We could abscond with the reserve assets. The corporate charter is public, as well as the business owners' names, locations, and reputations. Ownership of the account is legally bound to the corporate charter. Any transfers in or out of the bank account will have the associated traces and are bound by rigid internal policies. Okay, and the more boring one is recentralization of risk to a single point of failure. We have some ideas on how to overcome this, and we'll be sharing them in the upcoming blogs and product updates. So we'll see how they actually did that in real time. But let's see. By leveraging the platforms we have chosen, we have reduced the centralization risk to one singular responsibility: the creation and redemption of tokens. All other aspects of the system are decentralized. Let's see. Main applications. The main benefits applicable to all groups. Properties of Bitcoin bestowed upon other asset classes. Less volatile, familiar unit of account, and world's assets migrate to the Bitcoin blockchain. So then they break down how they work with exchanges. Shout out to Young King 91 Mims. You got a stanky Yankee on your head. Let's see. Then they talk about for individuals, the different things that they do, like how you could transact, yada yada, and then for merchants, I could get really in the weeds here, but that doesn't really mean that much to you. Or if you're really interested, pull up the Tether Whitepaper. So essentially, Tether bridges the gap between money in your pocket, fiat, and digital currencies such as Bitcoin. So let's see. So in conclusion, Tether constitutes the first Bitcoin-based fiat-pegged cryptocurrencies in existence today. Tether is based on the Bitcoin blockchain, the most secure and well-tested blockchain and public ledger in existence. Tethers are fully reserved in a one-to-one ratio, completely independent of market forces, pricing, or liquidity constraints. Tether has a simple and reliable proof of reserves implementation and undergoes regular professional audits. Our underlying banking relationships, compliance, and legal structure provide a secure foundation for us to be the custodian of reserved assets and issuer of tethers. Our team is composed of experienced and respected entrepreneurs from the Bitcoin ecosystem and beyond. We are focused on arranging integrations with existing businesses in the cryptocurrency space. Business like exchange, wallets, merchants, and others. We're already integrated with Bitfinex, Holy Transaction, Omni Wallet, Poloniex, CSEX, and more to come. Please reach out to find out more. I feel like something happened with Bitfinex. Let's see. What happened with Bitfinex? In August 2016, Bitfinex, a cryptocurrency exchange, was hacked and over 100,000 Bitcoin were stolen, worth about 72 million at the time. The hack was the second largest breach of a Bitcoin exchange platform. I remember. Let's see. In February 2022, the U.S. government recovered and seized a portion of the stolen Bitcoin. worth about 3.6 billion. Uh, they arrested the people who did the hack. Um, so interesting. So the way the couple laundered the stolen funds. So they stole about like 72 million in Bitcoin, right? But how do they try to get the Bitcoin out? They split the Bitcoin up into tiny amounts. They transferred it into thousands of different crypto wallets with fake identities. They mixed their stolen funds with other criminal cryptocurrency. They purchased gold coins and they set up shell companies. Now, listen to this. If you so happen to hack somebody and take their cryptos, you now know that splitting it up into tiny amounts, transferring it to thousands of different crypto wallets with fake identities, mixing stolen funds with other criminal cryptocurrency, purchasing gold coins, and setting up shell companies will not work. So, yeah, be mindful of that. Be smarter, okay? So then, yeah, so in my time in the crypto space, I remember hearing a lot of controversies around Tether. Right. For some reason, I always felt like I liked USDC a little bit more. I think because there's like an APY thing, but I don't know. I don't know where USDC is on the ranking, so maybe some while before we get there. Right now, I'm just going through, going one to on and on. So I've done number one, I've done number two, now we're at number three, right? Um, let's see. Tether, a stablecoin pegged to the US dollar, has been involved in several controversies since its inception. These controversies have primarily centered around its transparency, reserves, and potential manipulation of the cryptocurrency market. Transparency and reserves, lack of audits. Tether has faced criticism for its slowness in providing independent audits of its reserves. What? But they just said in the white paper, they just said in the white paper that everything would be totally audited and totally visible and totally transparent. That's crazy. But here's the other thing is that, you know, the white paper is just a plan, just a vision. In reality, it starts to shake out differently. So the benefit of reading these white papers and seeing how they happen to shake out, through history, through time, helps you understand, hey, that's a bold claim. I've seen tons of companies like for example, if a crypto promises to be private and you can't trace it. Through the historical lens of seeing all these private cryptos that have then become unmasked, I'm already like, I don't know if I really trust this, right? So it's the same way about different features. Once you see that people struggle doing something and they say that they're going to do something, now you know when another company comes along and they say that they're going to do that, or a new crypto comes along and it says it's going to do that, that gives you the ability to be like, but other people try that and it hasn't worked. So these are all different things you want to have in mind to make wise investments in these really small, niche cryptos that nobody's ever heard of. That's because, yeah, my central thesis is those are the ones you want to find. You want to find a crypto that, there's maybe only 50 investors in by that time, or 100, or one of the first 1,000 investors in. You don't want to wait until everybody's already talking about it. And at some point, I'm going to go into deep detail, right? I believe some sort of weird conspiracies when it comes to crypto whales and market manipulation and the way that, let's say, the average Reddit user, the average crypto Twitter, average, person that watches crypto YouTubes. I think a lot of us are constantly being manipulated based upon what whales want. And so the way to fight against that is, and I'm just yapping, right? I'm just chatting, right? So, but the way to counteract against whale manipulation is first strong hands, right? If you buy a crypto and it's always down, always down, always down, so what? Unless it goes out of business, like if this crypto is gonna die, okay, get out of there as soon as possible. But if this crypto isn't gonna die, why not continue to hold for 10 years? Because look at any chart of any crypto from when it started to 10 years, or from today to 10 years ago, if it's been around that long, you see huge gains. Always huge gains. So don't get locked into thinking, oh, I just bought this and now it's going down. Or I just bought this, now it's going down. Yada, yada. You don't want to fall prey into thinking about your crypto on a day to day. Oh man, I bought this a couple months ago and it's still red. That's how the whales get you. That's how you play into their game. And the only way you can lose to these whales is if you buy and sell at a loss. So please don't. Never sell at a loss. I've done it tons of times. don't. But every time I do that, I lose. And I know that I'm losing. And so I'm telling to you, when you buy crypto, plan to hold that thing for 10 years. And then you'll really see some gains. Don't buy it and just try to sell it a couple months later, or at least be green. If you're gonna sell it, at least be green. That's still a little unwise because it's gonna get greener someday, but at least be green. Please don't buy at a certain price and then sell red, because that's what they want us to do. That's what they want us to do. But we have diamond hands over here, right? Our hands can't be penetrated. Our hands are bulletproof, right? We're not letting these whales win. We're trying to get rich off crypto, right? So, and then the other thing about whales, or the other way to beat whales, is my central thesis, right? If you can find a crypto before the whales get there, so something that's in the top, let's say top 9,000. There's not going to be that many whales there. That's something that's good to invest in, because once the whales arrive, you're going to gain a lot. But once the whales are already there, it gets hard to make gains in a day-to-day fashion, right? So back to the controversies around Tether. I've been yapping. We talked about lack of audits. Now, nature of reserves. There have been questions about the nature of Tether's reserves. Some reports have suggested that a portion of his reserves may consist of commercial paper, which can be less liquid than cash. Opaque operations. Tether's operations have often been seen as opaque, making it difficult for investors to understand its financial situation and risk exposure. That's crazy. We just read the white paper where they said they're going to be the most transparent, and because it's connected to Bitcoin, everything has to be transparent. But that's not what this says. 2, market manipulation. There's so many controversies regarding Tether. Damn. Propping up Bitcoin. Tether has been accused of artificially propping up the price of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Some argue that Tether's ability to create new tokens at will could be used to manipulate the market. Pump and dump schemes. Tether has been linked to pump and dump schemes where traders artificially inflate the price of a cryptocurrency before selling it for a profit. Damn. Yo, this is crazy to go from reading the white paper where they're talking about everything so positively to then I just Google, what are the controversies surrounding the crypto? And there's a lot. So then I got to get into regulatory scrutiny. But I got some chats. Iman the Blader asked me to play a song. No, I will not play that song. But thanks for asking. In the last section of controversies surrounding Tether, regulatory scrutiny, legal battles. Tether has faced legal challenges and regulatory scrutiny in various jurisdictions. These include investigations into potential market manipulations and violations of securities laws. Fines and settlements. Tether has been involved in several settlements and fines related to its operations, including a 41 million settlement with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission over misleading claims about its reserves. So we just went over the white paper. We saw what they said about their reserves. So now we're fast forwarding into present time, where not only is there allegations about Tether capping, but they've settled. They've pleaded guilty, essentially, uh, uh, you know, to the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. I wonder where that money then goes to. Of course. So at the bottom, it's important to note that Tether has consistently denied these allegations and maintained that its operations are transparent and lawful. However, the controversy surrounding the stablecoin have raised concerns about its long-term viability and potential risks to the broader cryptocurrency market. So, that's Tether. We went through the Tether white paper. And then we also talked about some of my ideas about crypto strategies. And also, we talked about the controversies surrounding Tether. So, I think this is good for today. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. My name is Reginald. You can find me on Spotify and all kinds of music streaming platforms. I'm a rapper, right? You could also find me rapping on live streams here sometimes, waiting on more people to request it. But if you're like, hey, can this guy really rap? Go to my page, look at my playlist. I have a playlist of me freestyling on live, right? You could look at that. I also have a music video that's on this page. And yeah, you could also check me out on streaming platforms under Reginald, R39INALD. It's Reginald, but a 39 instead of EG. I'm on Twitter or X/Kanye, X.com/Kanye. Kanye is really my Twitter handle, I promise to you. Instagram, Reggiecoin. So just like in this title, Reggiecoin, you can find me on Instagram. Yeah, so thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.